Hello everyone, my name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. Today I'll make another video on the same series of Solidity programming series, and in this I'll try to cover the concept revert and assert. Okay, so it's similar like the require is one of the concepts which we have covered in our previous video itself. If you have not seen that video, please see it first. So this is the extension of that only. So we have two concepts which we call it as a revert and the assert. I'll try to cover in this video itself why we require the revert and the assert itself instead of the smart contract, and what are the benefits we're getting, and is it similar like require. I'll just mention you about the difference between a require and the revert also in this video, so that it's bit clear for you where exactly you have to utilize a require and where we have to use it a revert itself. Assert having a little bit functionality over there itself, so we are not considering much about it, but our most important thing which we have to consider about it are revert and the require itself. Require I've already covered, revert I'll try to get it covered in this video itself. So let me go to the theory part first, and we'll just cover the theory part. It's having a lot of things in the theory itself, description, details about it, everything, and then we'll go to the code and just try my best to explain you about it. And if that's not clear to you at the end of this video itself, just try to see it once again. If after that also you're not able to understand, just let me know what I'll try to make another informative video for you, so that you can able to understand the whole concept about it. Okay, let me go to the theory part first, and we'll just explain about the things for try to understand the concept about it, and if it's clear, then in that case it's easy for us to understand with the code also. So first of all, in Solidity, revert and the assert are two mechanisms used for handling errors and unexpected conditions in smart contracts. While they might seem similar, they serve slightly different purposes. So what exactly is it? It's having two mechanisms, like these are two mechanisms which are handling errors and unexpected conditions in a smart contract itself. It's having similar type of functionality, but slightly different purpose are having it inside of the smart contract wherever we are utilizing it. So going further with the revert itself, so the revert keyword is used to revert the current transaction due to an error condition, or to revert the state changes made within a contract function. It allows you to provide a custom error message that explains why the transaction is reverting, and reverting is typically used for expected condition where it's acceptable for the transaction to fail without causing any harm to the blockchain state. So what exactly is it? I'll make it a point very clear word by word. So this is a keyword which we are using it for the current transaction to revert the current transaction itself, defining a custom error. So custom error is a key power which we have in case of revert keyword. The mechanism itself, if we're using a revert keyword, we can make it a custom error over there itself. And how it is different from the require: in case of require, we don't require anything to be get it compared over there itself, like we are not using if and else. But in case of revert, just to get that condition to be compare and make that whether it's a condition is true or false, that we require if and else condition over there itself just to get it compare that. So that's a difference between a require and the revert itself. And there is a custom error also, we can define it as per our need itself in case of revert, which is not feasible in case of require. Now moving further with the assert itself. So the assert keyword is used to ensure that a condition is always true. So this will work always in a true condition itself. So if the condition is not true, then in that case assert will not trigger, and automatically everything is get it. Like if the condition evaluated to be a false, like at any point of time, if the condition has become false, the transaction is reverted and any state changes are rolled back. So even if a state variable is values get changed, it's reverted back to the same condition itself. Assert is used to check for internal error or invariant violation that should never occur if the contract is functioning correctly. So this is very clear about it. Like assert is utilized like till that the condition is true, everything is working fine. But if the condition is false, then at that time itself the everything related to the transaction is reverted back, and even the state variable value will get it reverted back. That's the straightforward thing which is happening in require also, even it's happening in revert also, and even the assert also. So assert having a small function, not much, similar like a revert itself. In summary, if I'm talking about the revert and the assert, so revert is used to handle expected condition and provide custom error message. That's a main power of revert, while assert is used to enforce internal consistency and invariant condition within the contract. Both are important for writing a secure and the robust smart contract. Now if we're talking about the difference between a require and the revert, so in their intent itself, if we are talking about the use cases and everything about it, so I'll just proceeding further with the require. Require is typically used for input validation, which we are aware about it, and for enforcing precondition, while revert is also versatile and can use for any situation where you need to revert the transaction with a custom error message or handle exceptional condition itself. Additionally, require is often used for conditions that are expected to hold true in normal circumstances, while revert is used for exceptional or unexpected conditions. So we can use it for exceptional or unexpected conditions in case of revert, but if we're talking about like require, we have expected condition and then we want that condition to be true. If it's not, then it's reverted back to the same situation itself, like our state variable and the guess will be reverted back. It's similar, these features we have it in case of revert also, but in case of require, like we have expected condition, but in case of revert we don't have any expected condition. Exceptional or unexpected conditions can be get considered in case of revert itself. That's a core difference between it. Now proceeding further with that, if I'm talking about the assert, what actually why I'm talking less about the assert itself. So assert is basically used for bug identification and the security, and if I'm talking about the advantages, so things like similar itself, like similar like which we have it in case of require, but over here we don't have any input validation itself. So over here itself, the gas, unused gas will be getting reverted back if we are not utilizing it much, like whatever that thing is get it consumed. Once the conditions get false and automatically get revert back, and the remaining gas will be reverted back to the origin. Okay, undo the value of the state variable if it's get changed. So that's also one other thing which we have, similar type of thing which we have seen in case of require also. Same situation we have it in case of revert also. Revert having power of custom error, that's we have discussed about it already. So just a small description about it once again. So if we're talking about the require, then in that case we have an exceptional condition over there itself, and we just looking for it. If the conditions become false, then in that case everything a state variable and whatever the gas is getting reverted back as per our need. In case of revert, we don't have any expected condition itself. Unexpectional, or I can say the unexpected conditions will be getted considered in case of revert also, and if that condition is not get it fulfilled, then in that case the state variable value unutilized gas amount will be getted reverted back. These things we can consider in case of revert itself. And in case of assert, it's bit true, like till the condition is true then it's true. If it's false, then in that case everything is revert back and the state variable and the transaction is reverted back to the base itself. That's a difference between all these three, but two things we are trying to get it covered in this video and only in our code itself. So let me go to the code now and just see that how exactly we are utilizing a revert and the assert in our code. So proceeding further with the practical section for it, and this is the code which we are using it for the revert and the assert section for it. So this is a straightforward syntax which we are utilizing it in our code. The contract name is require, or we can mention it as revert. Then instead of revert, let me make it caps. Okay. Now if I'll go ahead further with that, this is the error I'm getting it. So I have make it a name revert underscore assert, as I'm using one function as revert itself. That was the reason I'm getting an error. So I've sorted out that. So we simply have to use this as a name itself. Any name you can give it. I have just give it just to make it identify like what contract doing it. So revert and assert is the name I give it to the contract. Now I'll go ahead further with that. This is one of the state variable which I'm defining it, address type, and I'm just defining a name, defining it as a public. The variable name is holder, and that we are getting is msg dot center. We are getting the address of that using which account we are trying to get it deploy this contract. That address is coming under the holder itself. Okay, now proceeding further, unside integer, make it public, e is equal to 25. This is the variable we are defining it at the time of initiation itself. Now we go ahead further with it, and this line is very important which we are utilizing in case of revert itself. So error is the syntax itself which we have to use it, just defining any custom error itself which you want to give it from our side. This is the syntax itself. Like, this is not a syntax, this is anything which you can give it over here itself. Like, I'm using a getting error itself, you can use anything over here itself. This is required, like when we're defining anything as an error itself which we want to get it call instead of the function in case of revert, then in that case we have to define this as a syntax. Error is one of the thing which you have to give it, and now anything you have to give it, define it simply like a function itself. Take it example like that, give it a name over there itself. Now what are the things we try to get it pass? String along with the address itself. Two things I'll try to get it passed. That was the reason I've defined two things over here itself. Now proceeding further, I'm just defining this of this function is it. So the function name is revert, and I'm just trying to pass one of the unsigned value itself, like give it as an insert itself, make it this as a public. Now going further with that, age equal to age plus 5, I'm just getting it defined over here itself. And now proceeding further with that, here itself, like not like require, like in case of require we simply have to put the require and put the condition over there itself, everything in a single line itself. But in case of revert we have to use if and else. So over here itself I'm utilizing if. I'll just put one condition over here itself. Okay, then after that in double inverted commas itself we just simply have to use curly braces, we simply have to use this condition itself. So we have to defining revert, then whatever that error message we just want to get it defined over, like if that condition is not fulfilled, so what exactly that error we want to get it pop up, I'll just try to get it call over here itself. As I have defining string over here, so we have to put one string, then after that msg.sender, that whatever the address we want to get it pass over here itself. Okay, that is a condition. Whensoever that condition is not fulfilled, this become false, then at that time this will be get a trigger itself. Okay, perfect. So now proceeding further with that, I'm going to the next section for it. That's another function. So over here itself we are simply checking that whether whomsoever the person is trying to access it, whether that's a owner or not. So only the holder itself we just try to check it. So whatever the holder address we have it msg.center, whether it's equal to is not equal to msg.center or not. Like if it's not equal to msg.center, like taking example, if someone else is trying to get it access this contract, then at the time if this is the condition we have it, then in that case the person is clicked on it. So at that time these both situation will be different, like definitely both the addresses of the deployed address, deployed account address, and the person is trying to access with the account address, it's totally different. Then in that case this condition will be fulfilled and this revert will be get it triggered and it's automatically get it reverted back. That was a condition. I'll just try to make it over here itself. If this is not true, then in that case this will be triggered and automatically that function will be terminated once this will be done. Okay, so if it's not, then this case, otherwise if this will be fulfilled, then in that case this will be triggered and nothing ever happen after that. It will terminate the whole function after that. Now going to the last section for that is a assert itself, where we have to get it define this. So address I'm giving it from my side itself, and holder. So as the address over here itself, like which we are giving it from our side, and this is for the msg.center itself. If this is equal to, then as we have discussed about in case of assert, the condition till true, everything is working fine for us. Once the condition become false, everything, the transactions and even the state variable get it revert back to the same condition itself. Okay, so that's all about the stuff itself, and this is a function which we are defining as a public and defining as a view itself, as we are not changing anything set up, we just trying to check the condition. Okay, so now let me compile the code, let me deploy this, and let me trigger it now. So initially if I'll try to see the age is 25, which we have defined it as a state variable as 25 itself. If I'll try to check revert that, so if I'll try to trigger this function itself, so what exactly is happening if the condition is like x, if we just putting a value like 2, then in that case what exactly is happening? So this is fulfilled and the value become 30. So this is till this condition is not fulfilled, then till then everything is working fine for us. So this will work and automatically get terminated as this is not fulfilled. Taking as an example, if I'll put is over here it's a revert and I'll put 1, and this will be false this time, and this time nothing will change as it's terminated automatically, and whatever the state variable we have it holding it earlier, everything is reverted back to the same one only. So taking example, if 30 is the state variable at the time of execution of the function itself, so it will revert it back same to the 30 only. It will not revert it. It doesn't mean like we have to revert it back to 25. No, it will revert back to the same value, whatever the defined value at the time state variable holding it at the time of execution of this function. Now if I want to check the only holder itself, so I just have to check like if the condition is not equal to, so initially this is same, right? This is true condition, then in that case 2 will be get it reduced, so you can check it become 28. Now if I'll try to change the value of the address and I'll select this, and now if I'll try to access this, in that case this will not allow me, and even the value is not, as it's get terminated automatically, and this will not trigger. So even the age will not change, and as the holder this condition is get it fulfilled, as it's get fulfilled, then in that case everything is get it terminated and reverted back to the same one. Now let me revert back to the same address. Now if I want to check the owner, so I can see that this is working fine. So if I'll check over here itself, I can see like msg dot sender and the address which you defined it's equivalent. Okay, if I'll try to if I'll try to change it, it will not impact over here itself, but this is equal. Like if I'll try to put some other address itself and try to make a condition over there itself, if it's not fulfilled, then in that case everything will be reverted back. And if I'll try to see the holder is the address over here itself which we are defining it. So this is the address which is through which we have the account we are using it to get it deployed this contract. So that's the actual address of it. So I hope you are able to understand the whole situation for it, a revert, assert and require, which we have discussed earlier also. And if anything is a doubt in this video itself after seeing a lot of content, even I'll put it the content on my blog also, even on the GitHub link I'll just provide the whole document for it, so where it's the whole description about it, advantage, everything which we have discussed about it. Even the code also try to run it on the Remix ID on your system itself, just to see the situation for it and how exactly is changing it. If you want to analyze it, just go inside of the logs, try to see that logs appropriately for it, so that you can able to understand more about it instead of just seeing the videos. Try to put that code, copy that code, try to make that code, just customize something from your side, so that you can able to understand more things about it other than just reading, seeing the stuffs about it. You can't learn anything if you're just seeing the code itself. Okay, I hope you are able to understand the whole video itself. If you're not, just go through the video once again itself after this completing this video. Still, if it's not clear to you, just let me know in the comment section of this video. I'll try to make the more content, more informative content on this same concept itself. Okay, thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.